Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Octoman, and this is a tutorial about how to create animations or actually set up figures like in those graphic novels. Or probably you also have seen a lot of these character style animations in Gacha games, for example, or even the dating simulation games, which are quite yeah, popular in Japan and Korea, probably in China as well as probably it also is in Germany and somewhere else, or even in the US, but not that much, I guess. What we're going to talk about is pretty quick how we, or what do you need to do to set it up? Meaning, at first I go into Inkscape and show you what it is about. This girl you have seen in probably in the thumbnail, and what you need to do to set it up so that you are able to animate it the way you know those Japanese guys are going to do that. We don't need any plugins. Well, let's say not plugins, but we need some component to install and make use of. But we come to this place or to this particular part in a bit later on. Okay, so let's hover over to Inkscape. So this is the girl you have seen in the preview or actually on the thumbnail. And I'm gonna explain pretty quick what I have done over here, what I created, actually what the aim for that character is, and also how to showcase and how to make use of all the pieces where whatever this character is going to be about. It can be a girl, can be a man, can be a wolf, can be anything. I just thought, okay, I like anime a bit here and there, so I probably go and stick into that. So if you cannot, yeah, live with that, yeah, it's too bad. Okay, so what this character has to be is at first, of course, a pair of eyes. So later on, or let's start pretty quick for the moment. A bit easier. At first, you need a graphic. You need to have the possibility to rip the graphic apart in several different parts. That means when you later on go to any other, yeah, let's say program, you want to have several different pieces like upper arm, lower arm, breast, chest, and so on and so forth. You want to have all these pieces separated from each other so we can later on put bones like a bone system inside these particular parts, and then we're gonna stick them together. Once that happened, that sticking together again, we are able to animate them. And I'm gonna show you how this is going to work. I'm gonna show you what we are going to do with that stuff, and also how to animate that, let's say a bit here and there. So what you want to do when you are an artist, at first you want to make sure that you split everything a part like the head or everything related to the head. Probably you want to keep strains and maybe these parts over here you might want to keep them together with the head because we have two possibilities to rig them later on inside the 2D area. Okay, so let me do that. I'm gonna deselect and select some pieces over here I want to have separated. Sadly, I haven't done that before because, even the creation of all that stuff has taken some time already. So I'm gonna show you what I'm going to do over here. I'm not going into how to create all of that because it was just is just too intense or it would be just too much for this little tutorial. Okay, so what I take now is I spread all the pieces I need or I want to animate apart into different ones, and I make sure. Oh nope, damn. Um, what I want to do is I want to rip them apart at first. So I take the hat. So make sure whenever you create stuff, you want to separate all the pieces and only to take necessary data. This one here, for example, needs to be on the back side in a moment. Let me go there and bring this back where it came from. I'm gonna talk about the other parts as well in a moment. So these eyes, you probably want to have a eye blink and a open eyes in this case, and probably you want to have these eyebrows separated as well, not necessarily, but for doing eye blink probably by programming, for example. Yes, hi Epic, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I gonna rip that part or this eyes away from her as well. Once again, I need to do that because I want to animate the eyes later on by code as well. So what we need is, once again, we need just the head. Also, we have all the other pieces, like once again the feet, if you have some. I don't have any. But also once again upper arm, lower arm, and all the other parts. So let me rip apart the next parts, so which are going to be basically everything about the breast, I believe. So, and also what she is wearing here, maybe not these upper triggers there, but the lower triggers. So everything which is related to the breasts, I'm gonna take that. I can also group them anyhow here. Group. Nope, that was actually not a good idea, I guess. So no worries, you will not see much nudity, just yeah, just some plain stuff over here. Okay, so we need to rip that pieces apart as well. So you can see there are just some spheres, nothing fancy. And make sure that you keep space in between the tiles. Maybe you want to arrange them so that they are anyhow already related to these parts, but doesn't really matter. It's not necessary. Okay, so then I rip apart at first this arm area over here, like the left arm. I probably only need to do this once, but I'm gonna do it several times. So as you can see, everything needs to be ripped apart into like basic pieces. So I gonna have like this upper chest area, and I want to, maybe I can group these. Anyhow, okay, that worked. Okay, so now I rip that apart. So now I have this area, I have the head, I have the breast. I gonna stick or go away with these arms later on as well, and or actually rip them apart as well. For the legs, I'm gonna take hopefully all the parts except this one is not needed. But as you can see, they are like blending into each other. I'm gonna show you pretty quick. So when I set the rotation point over here and I rotate them wherever I want the legs to be, I can actually make stuff with that, like animating the legs if I like to. But as you can see, they are just plain, yeah, infos about that. So I ripped that stuff apart. This one here as well, I grouped them already, which is good. Actually, I just, made it so that I just mirrored these pieces away from each other. So, and at connector points or wherever, like, yeah, the skin is going to blend into each other, I want to have like the same colors so they can easily blend into each other and that it is looking like they would be connected. So this is something you might want to keep in mind. I didn't do much to the hands and to the arms, so I take this upper arm area over here. The fingers are separated kind of already. Actually the most important parts of the fingers. So this is the just the hand piece. This one here is from the thumb. And I'm gonna have like this finger separated here as well. Once again, you can keep them as you like. Just make sure they are all split apart, so you have enough space to set them up later on. In a square, yeah, Unity will cut everything already for you, but you don't want to have any blend in. So for example, if I have this as a square, as this dashed line, and this is intersecting like here, this probably will be also inside this part. So make sure you take them apart more or than enough so they are not intersecting anywhere else with even this transparent parts over here. So just bring them away a bit from each other so no intersections are going to appear. Same here. Doesn't really matter if they are rotated or not. You can actually reset the rotations, but you don't really need to. Same for the other side, for the other arm. Basically all the same stuff. Gonna rip them apart. Make sure I don't intersect anywhere. Same with for this piece here. This is one complete piece. I'm gonna try to group that as well. Looks good. So I can easier check if there's any intersection into these pieces. Then we once again have these upper arm areas, the lower hand or the what is it called? The palm, I would say, of the hand. Once again, the thumb piece of it, the lower thumb piece, the connected thumb, or later on connected thumb piece. Something is connected to that as well. So probably I'm gonna redo that. Oh, okay, I lost that. And I want to make sure that everything once again is splitted apart into pieces, which are we want to animate later on. So once again, bring this probably here, declare this as one finger. You need to have like every part, you need to plan ahead. Like what do you actually want to animate? You can keep stuff together. Like for example, if you're gonna check this tail or this ponytail, whatever it's called. Um, You're gonna be you can put in bones here as well, and you can blend these meshes. I'm gonna talk about this in a bit. You can blend them into each other, but still be able to animate them. If you are not 100% sure if you're able to do that, because probably this upper area is can be a bit tricky, you can also rip even that apart. Same here. So probably there will be one bone through the head over here, and then we have some going this line or this way, and then we're gonna have like two for this area. We're gonna talk about once again all of that stuff in a bit. So probably I'm gonna take this. But as you also can see, if I take the complete head again, I potentially intersect like this fingers and arms. So what I want to do is I want to take all of these parts and bring them maybe to the right, somewhere where they are not, once again, not intersecting anyhow. I'm gonna group this or try to group this again. Looks good. So I bring this maybe here. So what we're gonna create here is the a some kind of spreadsheet or yeah, sheet for a character. You can once again keep things simple. You can make it super complex. As you can see, I didn't invest too much time into just yeah creating this graphics here, so nothing fancy with that. I'm gonna bring this down below. Same for the leg parts, like that. And of course, these areas need to be somewhere here. Okay, so what do we have now is like a spreadsheet about a character, whatever or however it is looking. And now we can just make a PNG from that. And then we can stick back in whatever resolution, of course. So the higher the better. Absolutely. So maybe we're gonna export the eyes later on a separated one. If you want to have like a lip sync or mouse synchronization, you're absolutely able to do so. But I recommend that you're going to even do that separated, like make an open mouse, make a closed mouse, and all the letters. You might want to go later on with this animations. And also you want to probably write a plugin which is taking care of all the letters. Meanwhile, you, for example, have some text to talk about. Okay, so this is everything about the setup right now. What I want to do is I want to take all of these pieces and I want to export. Once again, I don't go and cover Inkscape right now because actually I don't think this is important for this part. I want to have the collection over here and give it a rather huge space, meaning 3000 by 4400 might be a bit too high, and but still you want to keep the quality right. So these graphic novels probably or most of the time are of rather high quality. I could believe even a 2000 in height would be more than enough, or maybe the 3000 here in height, because there are also a lot of gaps in between. So whenever you are taking like this part, it's just 1/5 of this 3000, about 500 or something, maybe 600. And since we have like three pieces or five pieces in the row or in the span over here. Okay, so that's pretty cool so far. Now I export this into my yeah, wherever I want to have that. So and maybe I gonna bring this pretty quick onto my desktop or somewhere, or directly inside the folder wherever I have that. Let's see, 2D animations, assets, and I export it directly inside over there as set1. Then I gonna go and press export, and it's going to do the mathematics stuff for, or actually this crazy exporting for us. So, and now we have the set over here. So this is set to be in Sprite to DUI automatically. If it doesn't for you, of course you want to make sure you're gonna do that. So once again, you have the sprite editor where you can actually go again and check out all the sprites separately. And what we have or what we need to do is we need to make sure that this is going to be some kind of yeah, separated pieces, and we need a plugin for that. Let's say plugin, but we only, I believe we only need this for in Unity 2K 18.2 or point 1, something like that. Well, that's where it started. We have somewhere I try to find it over here in Window Package Manager. That's what we have. So in this package manager, you can see all the packages you have already installed, and we need one specific, yeah, one specific one. Let's see if I find it directly over here. Animation. animation module was disabled. There's a pack which is called something like sprites or bone system or something like that. I have no idea. Let's see. And 2D animation provides necessary tooling and runtime for skeletal animation. So that's what you want to install, the 2D animation package. Probably 2D IK needs to be inside as well, but we don't really go over and cover 2D or the inverse kinematics. So what you want to do is you want to, whenever you're clicking on all 2D animation, you want to import this or install this package all over the place. So wait until everything is imported, as well as every necessary tools are going to be within that. So once again, 2D animation package. I'm not sure which version you have. They say it's in kind of preview, whatever that means, but still it works super nicely. I I promise. Okay, so now we have this in our install packages over here. And now we should also see this here in this package manager, as you can see. So now I just need to check out if we need to do something in here. Somewhere we need to activate that. I believe it is directly in the sprite manager or sprite editor. Let's see. There we go. So when you open this, you're going to have this skin weights and geometry editor as well as the bone editor. We're going to start with the bone editor. And down below in the bottom right corner, you see tools. I cannot drag this. Let's see if I nope. Okay, so we have this bone tools. What we're gonna have at first, we start with a create bone one, and then we have also create free bone. I'm gonna tell you what these are going to be about. You by holding down the control. Oh no, you don't even need to hold down control. By using your mouse, you just yeah, can zoom in and zoom out. And what you want to do is you want to start to rig this all these pieces now onto the bones. I'm not 1% sure if we need to split everything apart, but I guess we don't. What we can do with that bone editor, once again, we can just start to set up all these bones. We're going to go into the weighting in just a bit. For example, if we want to animate this, we have like our rotation base. That's where we start to Hi DK, not too bad. You can see this in the stream or later on as a video as well on the channel. But we actually just have started with doing the bone tools. So what you can do is you click somewhere and you can create a bone into any direction you like to. And you want to make sure that you build it so that everything else can be connected to these as well. Also, when you want to have like we probably do this somewhere on the hair later on. You want to make sure that you have all connections to the point. Actually, also you want to always need to take care that the pivot points, so wherever the rotation axis of other connected pieces are going to be, need to be at the correct point. For example, the head probably is somewhere here at this point. If you are done with this particular bone, you can right click and then it lets go. So it's not going to become a bone chain, and you have this little node, this little end node over there. Okay, so in the head, as I said before, I want to have some already here as well, but as you can see what's happening when I now press the next bone tool, it tries to connect from that. What we need to do is we need to create a free bone, which is probably, or which has to be connected to whatever we currently have selected. There will be a dashed line about that. Let's try that out. So I take this. As you can see, there is a little line coming from the base of the other bone. And now I can say, okay, where do I want to have the rotation of that? I believe it's somewhere behind the nose or the teeth. And I go here. So what does that mean is this bone later on goes and connects to the lower bone over there. Now what we can do is we can select this bone as the next root and create another free bone. So as you can see, it connects to this point. And we can, for example, do stuff like that. Now we have a done bone here, so we can now continue this chain with the usual one. We can also split these in two pieces over here. And what I also want to have, select the center bone once again, take the free tool and take care of these two parts. So probably just one like that. Gonna do another free probably here. And then I'm gonna need to take care of that. I select this one and create a following bone like that. So this is how you can chain or create your bone chains, related anyhow as three bones or connected to main bones. So for example, if you would move that part, so you can see everything which is like a free bone is connected to that. Also, you can delete all that links because I'm not 1% sure if they are going to become dragged to these positions. I'm not 1% sure. We'll see that. Sooner or later, if there's something fancy, we're gonna go and break them apart or whatever. Okay, so same for the arms. Arms are basically parts of this one here. If you want to have clavicles in here, you can actually put them into, and then you have the next connection to that point, and so on and so forth. So once again, all up to you and how you want to create that stuff. So I believe I click that. I go with free bone and, for example, do that. So I have my upper arm areas. This is where the elbow is going to become connected. Then I create another free bone and can do the same for all the other pieces. Once again, select whatever I like to. We can go and check this all of that stuff out in a second or minute. And we're gonna do this from here to here. And of course, you need to do that with all the fingers as well. So as you can see, it's not so easy to create such content as all these Japanese guys are doing, because it's relatively complex in case of creation. So because it just takes a long time to get all these things done, somehow it still keeps me away from that point. So this one is related to this one. Then we're gonna have also the other thumb bone. Probably I just go with one arm, depending on how much time you guys have, and so on. So this one is going to be the thumb, so it's going to be behind that other one. We're gonna go and take care of that, what is where, later on. Then I need another free bone to the center over here and connect it there. And finally, we have that finger, so we can also connect them to here. We can once again also connect them to anywhere else, or just freely move them apart however we like to. Probably once again we need to take care of later on that they are correctly connected, but basically I believe so. It is just about, what is connected to this bone over here. Undo is, as always, just Control Z if you have any changes or if you made any specific changes, or you want to just undo stuff. And the last finger for the right side. So for the boobs, we can do basically the same. We can put in, like, if you check these Korean games, like these dating simulations, for example, they always have some kind of boob wiggle. We can basically do the same as just a free bone. So we can probably go from the chest over here as well. And then we just put in like maybe one or two bones or maybe three inside that, so we have the freedom to wiggle them around if we need to. I just go and position them to. How do I want to make that? Probably I start somewhere here and go to wherever the center of the boob might be, or the boob set. We're gonna talk about that because later on, anyways, because in the center we're gonna have these, this line. So this is basically one object, but we still split it bone-wise into two, or maybe more. Once again, I make sure that I connect or control or take or make use of the control bone over here. So then I create my free bone, and probably I go from somewhere here to somewhere there. And I want to do the same for the other side as well. Once again, if you need more, don't feel free to put in more bones. So like that, for example. So we have the possibility to actually manipulate these. These will be later on, once again, skinned to these particular bones, and then we can actually play around with them and, do all that animation fancy stuff, whatever. Okay, so what's next? Next would be the other arm area, and of course the lower chest area. In this case, we're gonna do the same from the base. You can, by the way, also start everything from here, from down below. If you need to have any stretches or whatever, then you can also put in more bones, for example. For now, I just go probably somewhere here. In 3D, you probably remember that is that you have where the legs are going to be connected, like so, and you have the same done to the other side as well, like that. And then you're gonna connect like the legs to this point. So probably here and there we need to do this for the other parts as well, but I don't think so. I remember, hopefully I remember right, and we don't necessarily have to do that. So from this bone, once again, I take another free bone in here and put this here where the knee area is. Same for the other side. Make sure I always select the correct side. Somehow this drives me nuts here. And I bring this down here. Okay, so we have now everything connected. There's one more thing I want to take care of is probably the arms over here. So I take the root bone. This one here seems to be wrong. Can I just erase that? Let's say parent, split, delete. I have no idea where this bone came from, but we should be connected to the root with the lower area. Let's see if we move that around. Yes, everything is fine. Okay, seems to be good. And once again, I select this one over here. Once again, I have no idea where this other bone just came from. But if you have trouble with that setting up, feel free to reorganize things. So I want to have something for this, like a free bone again. Then for the elbow to the upper area of the like the forearm. Then I gonna do this one and bring this here. Once again, I can also go up until I hit the tip or the tip part over here, and then I go and do the rest for the fingers pretty quick. So we are done with that rather soon. So once again, it is a huge amount of work as you already, whoops, as you already can get here. So all these bones, all the setups, everything need to be correctly connected. And also, the more parts you have, the more work this is going to be here. Okay, so now I need to have the upper finger there. Once again, I just have two fingers. It doesn't really matter for me. For you, you probably want to go and even create more if necessary. Sometimes a good amount of graphics or changes can make the illusion of that way better like that. Okay. Don't forget to apply the changes. I don't go over and do anything with the eyes at the moment, so probably we are better to re-export this without the eyes, but we will see that. So for now, I just press the apply button. So in our Oh, we don't have that. Okay. So what we now want to do is, I believe we want to go to the skin weights and geometry parameters window. And Uh, automatic generation. There we go. Geometry generate. So first I press generate. As you can see, oh yeah, that's the correct one. So as you can see, these meshes which are going to be automatically created are rather low density. So whenever we are doing that, we want to go some more into this outline details. So they are coming closer to the graphics, as you can see. Same for subdivision. Subdivision is going to take care of, let's say we're going to take 6, that everything inside these meshes, probably 6 was a bit too high, everything inside these meshes is going to be subdivided in way more triangles to be more alpha tolerant, I guess. So maybe we're gonna lift this to 26. Maybe this becomes now a bit closer to where we want to go. And as you can see, it's becoming more or less better or not. If you need more density in case of these meshes, then you can always play around with these numbers. Once again, I tried to subdivide this. There we go. Okay, high subdivision needs to be done. As you can see, this is more like a triangular shape we are basically after, so we can also do inside or inner animation. So probably a low number means it is super dense or super small again or to each other. Probably when we do this, it gets more dense in total. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I get or make use of 100%, and that should be good to go for that. So now we need anyhow the bone weights generated, and I believe because we haven't done or haven't had anything in between over here, there wasn't a possibility to paint these or generate these weights. So let's try that out, this auto generation. But let's assume or let's try to paint that by hand. Maybe there's something we can do. Okay, so painting works. That's funny. So yeah, this is actually not what you want. You want to make your life easier instead of painting everything based on whatever the bone color is. And also I don't want to move them. But I wanted to blend them into each other automatically. But anyhow, they didn't let me, so maybe there is at the moment no other way. Once again, I have no idea why this is not working, because usually it should. Okay, anyways, we can now, whoops, paint the complete impact here for what is impacting each other. We just basically select the bones or and make sure that we are painting yeah, over these. Once again, these are maybe not the right one. We don't want to have the head affected by the animation of the of that upper pieces there, of the head piece. And now we select basically all the bones where we want to have that particular impact and where we want to blend into other ones. Like whenever you're moving things around, as you can see, this mesh is going to deform itself. And we can do the same here. Have that here. We're gonna have that here. Probably you are a bit picky, or you should be picky, or as picky as you can, just to make sure nothing fancy happens. And we paint that. Gonna do everything here as well. Once again, I have no idea why the auto weight does not work, because, well, usually it should. Maybe I forgot to press any weird button, I don't know. Nope, 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 nope. Make sure you undo whenever you do any mistakes or you see some weird stretches happening. But that's dense. Why did it do this? Ah, never mind. Maybe I made a mistake. Reduce the size over here. Anyhow, these are black. Maybe that's a problem. I have no idea why these bones are going to be black. Probably some fancy stuff happened there. And this might be the problem in total. Maybe they are too close together. But yeah, meanwhile you're testing all of that stuff out, you will learn how all of that rigging stuff is going to work sooner or later. Okay, let's go to the other side and paint this as well. Make a brush bit bigger again, like 60. And do this. Once again, if outer weight is working, probably there's a bug I haven't seen before, I don't know. Nope, do not move that. Maybe reduce the size again. On this side, everything seemed to work. Hmm. Yeah, as you can see, sometimes it is just, or it seems to be super picky with all of that, and nobody knows why. Nope. Okay, so now the lower area, even if we don't need it this way, set it up, we can do so. I take a rather big one for this, maybe 100 in size. And this one goes yellow. And maybe some interpolation in between. And finally the lower legs here. Like that. Be careful not to paint over. And then we should be good to go. I'm not sure what the save button is for, but probably it will help us in saving everything as it is, hopefully correct. But I guess I apply the changes at first and see what's going on the mesh or on our setup over here. So whenever we are going back to weights, we're gonna have this slider here where we can make stuff slightly visible. And when we now take one of these pieces, you can see everything in the mesh is going to follow up. So also here, when we rotate this, it's going to follow up as well. And we can test it out with the hair. So this complete hair strand is coming. There is one small thing I want to take care of. Brush, maybe 5. And maybe you want to make sure that you brush off or over the necessary ones and do not have any impact here from the other side. So as you can see, there's also some connection from that bone, it seems. So something seems to be strange with that bone. Maybe I make it way harder again, like 100 impact. There we go. So now you can test it out basically. So see how it acts, how it behaves, and how everything else behaves. So yeah, probably this is not a good area to have a hair strand on. So whenever we move that, we only want to move the hair, but not the head itself. So this is important here, I guess, as well. So probably, nope, gonna overpaint these 2 points again so they don't do any fancy stuff. There's one other issue over here. I don't know from where, but now it's gone. Can test this out. Actually that doesn't look quite well. So probably I connect the center um, over here to, I believe we can even manipulate anyhow these little vertices or put new ones in. But we can do something like this, something like that. Maybe I'm gonna make this one a red one as well as probably these two. So meaning they are connected more to the center bone over here and have not too much impact of that. And they are connected to this part anyway. So whenever we do something like this, they are connected anyways, as you can see. So, and we can do also test the other arts or other parts over here. And then we are basically done, I guess. So I apply the changes right now. And what I can now do is I can drag this into my Unity project, I guess, I hope. And I should be able to manipulate that. So this set I should be able to drag this in and see the bones anyhow. And once again drag this or actually put around or work around with all my bones somehow. But I currently cannot see them. I guess we need to put a sprite something onto that as a new component. Sprite skin probably is the correct one, and the root bone is going to be this one. Oh, that's strange. Doesn't that work automatically? What's the mess with that bone setup stuff here? Is this set wrong or not? Create bones. There we go. Okay, finally we made it to the point where we actually see all the bones in our scene, and now we can take and basically put everything together so we are able to animate that. Before we can do that, we need to check what is in front of what. So we need to go back into the bones later on or into the set and need to set their order in layer. So, but we can only, I believe so, only do this also in the bone tools. So, for example, this one needs to be the very one, which is at the very back, I guess. So, at the lowest depth, I would say. So, what we're gonna do is we once again open up the sprite editor from the sprite setup menu. We go into the bone editor, I believe, and then we take the bone. Nope, I guess we need to go even deeper into skin weights. Nope. In skin weights it doesn't work or it is not presented. So usually all roads contain a death, and we have seen that already beforehand anywhere, and we were able to set them up. There we go. So whenever we are in weights again and we select the bone, we have a death over here. So I'm not sure if negative and positive numbers which are better than the other. So we're gonna test this out by just these arms to get a feeling for that. So I put this one on a depth of 6, this one on a depth of 1. And when we need to apply the changes, of course, to make use of it. And once it's done, we go back to our scene view. I'm gonna bring this a bit here. And when I drag this arm over, you can see that the complete arm is now under this one. So a higher number means it is more in front. So we need to do it the other way. Like this one needs to be at 0 and everything else needs to be on top of that according to what the relation between those bones are going to be. So once again, I go to the skin and weight tool, go to weight, select the bone, make this one here, I make this one 1. So I know that this one needs to be a 2. This one over here needs to be a 3 because they are related to each other. This one here needs to be a 2 as well. This one here needs to be a 3. I'm gonna go with these here. These are going to be 4. Or maybe also 3. They can also be on the same height. And these one here going to be a 5, I would say. I'm not sure if I can select multiple ones to set them all up as we need them. The head needs to be 2. It needs to be higher than our torso, and this one here stays. It can be 1, and this one can be 1. Maybe if I select the last one of the chain, the first one is changing as well. Nope, it doesn't. Okay. And this is sitting on top of the torso, so this is going to be a 2. This is a 2. This is a 2. And we're gonna have the legs. They need to be a 3 over there. Okay, don't forget to apply that. Probably you need to come back here and change this orientations. We haven't done the fingers yet, but I don't think that we need them at the moment so far. So let's try that out. We take this arm. It is now on top. This is good. So we can also rotate this stuff around, but it's more important to at first put everything in position. So now we take everything we had so far. I'm not sure if we can take two. Okay, this is another bad thing I haven't thought about. So probably I need to go in to these two bones and reweight them because they are now related to this. This is okay, but actually nothing I wanted to have here. So probably there need to be another bone in the center. So I go back to my set again, sprite editor, weight tool or skin weight tool, go to the weights and make sure that I split this apart again so I can actually drag these two bones into position where they have to be. Or I can go to the bone editor again, create a new bone and reconnect these bones to each other, but I need to reweight them here at this point. So probably I go and just paint them over with a rather high hardness at first. So I don't have any weird things going to happen. I guess that's fine. You're gonna have to learn of all of that all over the place anyways and return to where we came from. It might not look good in the end, but that's fine. We can later on tweak that. And that's once again also purposes of learning stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take them both at the same time. So I hit shift and bring these to wherever I want them. In animation later on, you can move them, you can rotate them like so. But as you can see, this is just not cool when you have selected both, but you get the idea, I believe. So now we need to connect our elbow here, our elbow there, also our palm or whatever. So this one needs to be in front as well as this one. Somehow there's some fancy stuff in the background going on, and we're gonna have our head at this point. So we can place it wherever we like to, and once again we can now animate things based on that, as well as bringing it maybe a bit more down, so we have more control later on of all these items. Cool. And now the lower part over here, this needs to be under the top line there, and the bones for our legs are somehow going here, I guess. So we can also do this animation, like, walking stuff and so on and so forth. And I just need to make sure that this bone here needs to be under the torso. So this one is basically the base. So this one needs basically to be on 0. So probably I can fix that. So I once again go into my set and sprite editor. Go to skin weight tool, weights, and this one over here needs to be at least a 1, but better a 0 because it needs to underline or be it needs to be under the other bones. So let's this one needs to be 0 in this case as well as the other bone, because they're all three connected to each other. Don't forget to apply the changes to the to the sprite and close the sprite window. And now this should be over there, as you can see. And now we can bring this to wherever we want to. Anyhow, it seems just, no, it does not need to be under that. That's strange. Okay, then in exporting, something strange seemed to happen or something. I don't know. So this does need to be over, not under. But yeah, you get the idea. You need to make sure that everything is later on correctly set it up. I once again go in and change that back to where it came from. Nope, not the bone editor. The weights tool, weights, and I take this one and once again bring this onto the 2. This one onto the 2. I'm not sure if child bones are setting up automatically, but I don't think so, because most of the stuff didn't happen automatically here. And now I close that again, and I should be able to drag this to wherever I want that. Anyhow, it seemed that I forgot to implement a a good amount of overlaying over here. I don't know. Okay, so we have now everything set it up except the fingers, so we can drag them onto wherever we want them. Anyhow, with these fingers here, we're gonna have some serious problem. It is somehow sticking somewhere, so this is going to be the thumb. It is also anyhow a bit destroyed. This thing does not have any bone, it seems, or oh, okay, that's funny. So these three bones somehow are not really 100% correct at this point. And here we also have some offsets. So probably at first I'm gonna send them somewhere. Yeah, they're probably just too close to each other. So this one is also wrong. The sump one, so maybe you go, or I need to go and reskin them again. Uh, and go back to the skin. Let's see, sprite editor, weight tool, and to set the weights correctly up here. So select this once again, take the brush, make a hard one. Probably it's because of these colors, I have no idea. Oops. These ones, yes, are blending into each other, probably not a good idea. These one are, why ever, extremely close together. And this one here has too much influence to the upper part. Same here. Gonna need to reduce this as well. Okay, so apply the changes. Everything should change automatically or will update itself automatically whenever we are looking back into the scene. I believe on the other side there was a problem as well. Maybe these outlines over here are not too good. Also, as you can see, there are strange things happening here. Like all these yeah, weird vertices. I have no idea if I can just delete them. But anyhow, it seemed to be cut pretty yeah, pretty strange. You know, I know that we can always delete them and also bring them maybe more away from each other, but these are anyhow connected, and I guess that's where all this trouble comes from. So all these vertices here are just not needed, I believe. And that's where the trouble started, I guess. So, no, splitting them apart is not a good idea, but maybe we create an edge anyhow, like that. And we delete maybe this one, this edge, and create a new edge, just to make sure everything works, hopefully correct later on. And maybe I go here again. Okay, so now this bone and this bone, even if they are black, they should work still. We have some other issue here maybe. And by the way, if we can once again always go into this here and see through, so we know, okay, what is the impact. And we can once again take the brush, make it super hard, and paint over that again, just to make sure everything fits 100%. Same here, gonna just repaint or paint over without, or hopefully without taking any other thing consideration, or into this impact line over here, and then even that should be hopefully fixed again. Okay, gonna do another quick paint for this as well. Okay, so I can bring this up again. So this side hopefully is fixed now. Once again, we can do the same for the other side as well. Just go to geometry here, and yeah, this one needs to be split like so. And I believe so, we can easily do that, and we create a new edge And then these edges, or actually this place or the spaces in the center are going to be filled automatically again. And then we can repaint them based on the bones. So just in case, or maybe they got influenced automatically without our help. And whenever we move that thing, we shouldn't see any issues anymore. Okay, so I would apply the changes again right now and see how that is going to work. Close Sprite Editor. And still there seem to be some issues about the fingers, but these seem to be fine right now. Kind of. There's still one spike here, wherever that came from or comes from. Doesn't really matter for me right now. So, okay, when we are done with setting everything up and so on and so forth, we can start to animate everything based on these bones. So what we need is just an animator component as usual, and then we can, from wherever we are starting at, do animations. So let's go and check this out. Once again, there is some trouble here and there involved, but that's okay. So I go to animation and I create a new one. So, and what I need to do is, of course, I need to select the set where we are currently working at and create that. For example, just any animation. Any animation. And now we have the complete timeline to think about how we want to actually achieve that. Also, by the way, we can yeah, scale everything down. Even the bones should come with us. We can place this character directly in the scene wherever we want that. We can once again scale it down. Hold down Shift to make sure you manipulate this correctly. And probably you want to set this yeah, into your scene. Okay, so what you now want to do is, for keeping that animation running, at first you want to create some keyframes for these parts you want to animate, or you just start with the animation and everything else should follow up automatically. About the eyes, we're gonna create probably the eyes later on from the same set, but I do some cut over there, and then I just link the eyes to the bone. Let me show that pretty quick because I believe that's what we can take care of. I duplicate the complete set here, and hopefully it doesn't crash or do anything fancy. I go to multiple sprite editing, apply. I have this right now, and what I can do is I can just slice this eyes away, and I can do the same for the other eyes. So maybe you want to be as picky as you like when you want to do the blinking, but for now I guess it's fine when we do this. And I close that window, and now what I can do is I can just take this eyes and bring them into my set over here, like so. Of course I need to make sure that I put them wherever they have to be. In the size they have to be, just over there. So we get more mood into our character. And then we need to link it to this one, so bone 1. So we take this and need to make a child of bone 1. And now whenever we are now moving bone 1, like we're rotating or doing stuff, the eyes are going to follow. Cool. Okay, back to animating. We go to select our set, go down. There's this animator component already, so it is connected to this. So if you have like 100 different animations you want to combine, you can absolutely use the mechanism system for this. I go here, and now I can start to animate. For example, over 1 second, I want to do this or the other wiggle stuff, whatever, and then I'm gonna loop back. So don't forget, this is the root bone where everything is rotating around. Probably not the best choice over here. God damn it, what's happening right now? Okay, and everything else is related to this bone. You probably want to go with the lower area to be the first bone, and then everything up to that or from that lower area is going to be animatable. So once again, you have just like that, you can do this animation and so on and so forth. So you press record, and then you can just literally move everything around as you need and like. Once again, I made some mistakes here and there, but as you can see, we can just move that from here to there, maybe spread something here or move something around over here, and do some arm rotations. Once again, everything needs to be set up beforehand, otherwise you might ruin that. And maybe I'm gonna do this, and maybe some offsetted animation. Okay, and maybe something like, whoops, don't move. You can move, by the way, as well. And we can also do something like this, maybe not too much. Okay, so what's going to happen now is you're gonna create those keys, this animation keys, for all the bones you are animating, and then you can create some fancy animations for that. Also, anyhow, you are able to duplicate these keys here. I try to, or how do I do that? Or duplicate them? Nope. Or Control V, Control C, Control V, something like that. Okay, so with Control C, Control V at a specific position, we can take back where we actually started. And this way, when we now are done basically with our work, for example, we can do all this animation stuff over here with our little, yeah, character. Also, when you go later on Maximize on Play, you shouldn't have any problems in seeing all this all these animations in runtime or in your game time, I would say. So as you can see, we can easily animate now every part. We can make super fancy things. Once again, we can also go and offset like all the animation part for these bones here, for example, just to have more of a space in between that. Once again, you can keep your animation window open if you like to. Whenever you're working on the same set, it's probably the best anyways. So you can go to any frame, maybe to this, and then don't forget to record. And you probably want to do something like that, and maybe something like this. And later on, you might want to bring them back or something wherever they have been, and you're good to go. There's a little pop now, but actually nothing fancy, I would say. So we can also copy that port and paste that here, and then we shouldn't have any problems. Okay, and so we need to probably bring them back here, and then we also don't have this pop. So as you can see, you can animate all the things. You can bring stuff up and down, left and right, wiggle around, doing stuff. As long as everything is completely separated from each other, you shouldn't have any problems at all. So I still hope, even if it was super troublesome, this live stream was anyhow helpful for you. I hope so. Once again, hopefully auto weight is going to work again later on, so we don't have to brush all the weights and stuff like that, and it's basically auto regenerating everything on that. Probably also there was that problem with the density of the mesh and also all the other trouble. So yeah, keep on learning that one and try to make some cool fancy characters, animate them. You can also do walk cycles and all that stuff. So create your character from the side, and you can make all the animations completely based on the bone system, even with swords or any other tools or axes or whatever weapons, for example. You can do them or use them all into that. And that's basically how all the Japanese people or Japanese guys and girls are creating those animations. They're going to have like some bone systems like these. They have like beautiful graphics probably, and in the end, they're gonna be able to do all of that graphic novels, all the animations, all this wiggle, all everything else. Just understand how bones working, how they are connected or related to each other, and yeah, try around with them. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream, even if it was a bit troublesome. But don't forget to check back or check out my other YouTube tutorials if you like to. If you need some help on your own game, whatever case of game or whatever kind of game, feel free to hire me. All links are going to be in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe or like if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching and tuning in, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.